Comedy Kitchen with Chef Sel was recorded on a cell phone in front of a fake audience. What?
Undercarriage. You like that? Yeah. Crispy.
Just enough for a pie, dear.
Hey guys, Chef Sel right here. I love faking out my fake audience. I don't even know where they are. It's just a little file on my desktop. I just click it and they all just kind of... Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, to Comedy Kitchen with moi, Chef Sel. Lots of good stuff going on. We have now hit 1.4 million views. Yes, and we're almost at 85,000 subscribers, so push it along. Even if you despise me, which I do, so you should too. Hit subscribe right there, boom, hit the bell. We come out every week. I shoot for Sundays, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to make another, I don't want to do another recipe. Pretty much every Sunday. So please like, hit that up button thing, I don't know what it is, and let's keep the ball rolling. Today, gluten-free pizza. Stop. I've done pizza before on this channel, and I've done gluten-free, I believe, but as things go, the different flours you can use evolve, and I have a nice combination now to give you a real undercarriage. You like that? Yeah. Crispy, crunchy, delicious, and relatively easy. It tastes a lot better than this flour. It's this flour, it's this white stuff now, and it just, you eat it and it's like, I guess it's okay. But there's taste here because it's all different types of flours working together for vous. Ow. Ow. 5 years ago, I wouldn't even dream about making a pizza like this, but let's get started with the stuff. It's pretty simple, but you just gotta follow along. And I know you're just gonna see my hands, but don't worry, this face is everywhere, everywhere. Let's get started. As with most doughs and cakes and baking and schmaking and raking, did I get them all? Anyway, you have your wet and your dry. Let's do this wet first. I want 15 grams or 3 tablespoons of whole psyllium husk. Now, if you're using psyllium husk powder, which is what I'm using, it's only 13 grams. And you're gonna put some water in there, 1 3/4 cups, just lukewarm water is fine, or 420 grams. Stick it in there and then whisk it up. Insanely. I couldn't think of a word, that's why I was just sitting here. I couldn't think of words. Going to form a gel, like a loose gel. So you're going to put this aside. And I'm going to show you what we have in our dry. Now in here, what I did was I added the dry stuff and I used the scale. You can do it by cups and schmups. I'll give you both. But I kept it separate when I'm using the scale because you can pour it in and watch the scale go up, 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 up. And if you go over, take a little teaspoon. Take it out, take some out, you know the story. So I just wanted to show you what that looks like. So in here, we have 120 grams or 3/4 cups plus 2 tablespoons of either millet flour. We're going to use ground brown rice flour, finely milled. That's what I have here. You can use either. And right here we have 115 grams or 1 cup of tapioca starch. Easily pour it in or spoon it in because it puffs when you put it down. It's really weird. It's like powder that you put on your face. I know a lot of you people do that. I don't know why. So be careful. And you can also use corn starch, potato starch, or arrowroot starch. Let's starch, right? not the stuff that you do with your collars. Not that starch. You know what I mean. All right, and 80 grams or a half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of sorghum flour. You can also use light buckwheat flour or white teff flour or oat flour. They're all gluten-free and they all have the same properties. You need properties. I'm telling you. I don't mean like in real estate. You need the properties that these guys give you. Okay? Real estate. Anyway, 15 grams or 1 tablespoon of, I just use granulated sugar. You can use castor or the superfine stuff. 6 grams or 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. If you're using active yeast, you go 8 grams. Very simple. I'm using instant, so I went 6 grams or 2 teaspoons. 6 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt. You can go a little bit more if you want. It's fine. 1.5, not really 2, like 1.5, 1 3/4 teaspoons, fine. And then you have 8 grams of olive oil, which is 2 teaspoons. That's over here. And 8 grams or 1.5 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. I put them all together. So I'm going to get a dry whisk because I wet whisked that, right? And it's hard to dry a whisk. So I'm going to use a dry whisk. I'm going to mix this. Watch that tapioca. It wants to jump. Okay, that's good. Now you're moving. So far, so good, right? Easy freaking peasy. Give it a little one of these things and get it off these sides here. You want to use every last gram of this stuff. You know, we're talking about, the metrics, the gram of this stuff. Well, let's bring back our gel, which should be gel by now. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a loose gel. So what you're going to do is you're going to pour this in here. It's going to kind of plop in there. No, kiddies, it's not gross. Would you stop? Come on. It's a gel. Don't put it in your hair, though. Yuck. Very good. And I'll just, you can do this in a KitchenAid, the dough hook. I'm going to try using a spatula and then pour it out here with some brown rice flour or teff flour on my counter here. And just knead it around. I mean, it's not like you have to work any gluten with the kneading, but you just want to get it well mixed and nice and smooth. Now, just to let you know, I also added some xanthan gum in here. You don't have to. That's why I didn't say it, but now I feel guilty. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Honey, those poor people. They think you need xanthan gum, but you don't, but then they think you don't and you do. What am I going to do? Go to sleep, Chef Sal. We'll discuss it in the morning. It gives you a little extra elasticity because I've been doing gluten-free for years, and I noticed that xanthan gum does help, but you only got, you can only use a little, so. All right, this looks good. I might just turn it out. Use the stickiness of the gel to kind of sop up the dust. All right, let's turn her out. Off with the rings. Sorry, dear. And just, give it a light knead until it feels smooth. And then I'm going to break it into 2 equal pieces. I'm going to get 2 pies out of this. And we're going to rise it in the oven for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. All right, I kind of move this around a little bit now. I'm going to put this on, this olive oil. And I like to give it a knead before I add this olive oil and this apple cider vinegar. Kind of gives it a head start. You'll know what I mean when you start doing this. And it's going to be sticky. It's going to be a sticky dough. Just keep going. Let it kind of absorb itself. Let me get a bench scraper and I'll get all this stuff off here. And keep going until it kind of absorbs. But it's not going to be, like a dry dough. I'm just telling you that right now. All right? So stick around. I'm going to get a tiny bit of flour. Just put it around here and over the top. That's probably all you're going to need. Flour your hands if it's too sticky. And let it soak up some of this superfine. I got superfine brown rice flour. Like I said, teff is good too. All right, so I'm going to weigh this, cut it into 2, get 2 gobs of freaking dough, and show you what comes up next. Here's my 2 doughs, my 2 pizzas, and I panned each one of these bowls. I'm going to cover it here, and I'm going to put it in the oven, cold, and then when they're in the oven, I'm going to hit bake and start. When it gets up to 115 degrees, if you don't have readout of how hot the oven is at the time you do this. Put it in for about 2 minutes and then turn it off. Just turn it off and then leave it for an hour. I'll see you then. It's now time to make some pizza. Here we go. That's one of my doughs. Yeah, rose almost twice the size. Very nice. I had some stuff in my fridge. I had some mozzarella, whole milk mozzarella, maybe put a little Olivari Gourmet. This is our sponsor, baby. Woo! I love this stuff. It's gourmet extra virgin olive oil. Get it at Walmart. Unbelievable. For the price, sick. Trust me on this. Trust me. And I have a little bit of sauce here. I don't know, about 3/4 of a cup. Call it gravy if you want. I made this. You just put a little extra oregano and spices in regular tomato sauce, and you got yourself some pizza sauce. This is my wife has this garden she's just starting to grow. These are kind of baby versions of some basil here, if you can see it. You can smell it across the room. It's crazy. I'm going to put that on one of the pies when it's done and out. Don't bake it in there. It's going to get all crispy and gross. And let's see what else I have. That's pretty much it. So let me get this first one out. Very light, very nice. And we're just going to make it round, right? Now I have parchment paper here. I'll show you what I'm going to do with the whole situation once I get this spread out a bit. I want a nice thin crust. You don't have to. You can do thick, but crispier, the thinner, the crispier, the thinner. I'm telling you. And I got my oven preheating only to 350 because first I want to get this set. I want to get this dough or this crust set in that oven. Now this whole thing, see this whole bit with the paper and all, it's going right on the pizza stone. Now if you don't have a pizza stone, you should get one though. Very helpful. When you make bread too, it comes out nice and crispy on the bottom. If you don't have that, non-rimmed cookie sheet is fine. Just get it on that low rung there in that oven. I'm kind of liking this. I like a little bit of a ledge here. Some people that make these bar pies, they go flat all the way, but it's just not my bag, So I'm going to go over to the oven now, and I'm going to cut this paper off just like, you want just a little bit hangover, that's all. Go into the oven, 350 on the stone or non-rimmed cookie sheet, and you want to go about a good 10 minutes until it starts to, you'll see, you can kind of touch it, but be careful in the oven, it bounces back as a dough. And remember, 475 on that oven when you're actually baking the pizza after all the toppings are on, okay? So let me get this one on that stone for about 10 minutes at 350, and we'll kind of round out the other one, and I'll meet you back here at some point. Okay, my first sort of pizza, the crust, is now together. So you can play with it a little bit now, which is good. And I'm gonna build it. Whatever you wanna do. I recommend only a little bit of sauce. If you watch the way they do it in these pizza parlors, same thing, they don't put a lot on. Maybe about one of those scoops the size of a ladle, that kind of situation. So this is about good. See, easy stuff, right? Come on, please. And the cheese, nice handful, as much or as little as you like. Get it all the way around the edge to start, and then the middle's easy. It's the story of life, really. And try to get all these little extra pieces on there, because then it falls into the oven and you think it's burning and the cats go crazy and the dogs leave home. It gets ugly. That should be good. I got my other crust, if you will, 350-ing. It's 350-ing in the oven. It's got about 8 more minutes to go. A little oregano. Oh, what's this? Italian seasoning. It's got oregano in here, a little basil, just a little bit. It is pizza, so you want some spice in there. You don't want like an Elio's kind of thing. Although, I got to tell you, I loved Elio's. Cafeteria in school. It was good stuff. A little bit of garlic powder, just a smidgen. Taste. And when it comes out, we're going to throw a little gourmet on it, a little gourmet olive oil by Olivari. And set this up on the ladle. And as soon as that pre-cooked dough comes out, boom, up to 475. You got to check it. At 475, you want to go about 7-8 minutes total. Take a look at it. Some people say, like halfway through, you 180 it in the oven. Don't do that. You're going to come out with burns like I got. And, and I'm a pretty good cook too. I've been doing this for freaking decades. Don't do it. Just, it's an oven. It makes everything hot inside. Let's start with that. And when it comes out, I'm gonna throw a little of this basil. I'm gonna throw all this basil on there, just a little bit as a taste. We don't have much and it's a baby size. And cut it up right away. What can I tell you? All right, we had this first one here. Look at this. Folks, sheesh, unbelievable. Had it in there about 7 minutes. I turned it down to 450. I just didn't want to burn the bottom, and the bottom is perfect, of course. Let's get this sliced up. I'm gonna put this other one in the oven in the meantime, because we have two, you know. If you don't know how long to go, just look at the cheese. See? Just starting to get too dark for my liking. And while it's still hot, let's get some of this basil on there. My wife Nance has a garden of herbs in the backyard. A house here in South Carolina. All right, just enough for a pie, dear. Look at this, folks. Gluten-free pizza. Can you stand it? See if I can get a bite in here. Oh yeah, I'm a crust biter. So anyway, you saw how you did this, right? Not too hard. Little olive oil. Finish it off. I got another one in the freaking oven. That's for everybody else. But folks, check it out. Please subscribe. Make this. Write in the comments. Write everywhere you want. Skyride at Chef Cell. Nice job. I know. I mean, look at it. Good thing about cooking is you always get the results, right? So, like, subscribe. This is Comedy Kitchen with Chef Cell because I am Chef Cell and I will see you next time.